Hey guys, it's Vandy as I'm back at it again with another buddy fight video. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and donate to the Patreon. And take a shot every single time we say Thundermine if you actually want to follow along with this. Because trust me, you're going to have fun if you do. So without further ado, let's get to the deck profile, shall we? The world is Parade of 100 Demons. Technically it's not a world, technically it's just a flat card, but who gives a care? So you can basically use all 100 demons and generic cards. Basically, a world that doesn't have world at the end of it. It was Bushiroad's second attempt at making a new world, and apparently they screwed that up some way somehow. So without further ado, let's get on. This is the Buddy Monster, Orc-sized Dragon. This is Thundermine, by the way. One shot, 3k power, 3k defense, critical of 1. Thundermine. When a size 1 or less monster enters your opponent's field, deal 1 damage. Most of Thunder Mines are all, are just all once per turn. Which makes it fair, because otherwise your opponent kind of be screwed, since they basically take 1 damage every single time they do an action. And there's a combo between this card, a size 2, and a size 0, that basically makes so your opponent calls anything but a size 0, they'll be taking Thundermine damage. Really fun. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started with the size zeros. Poison Dragon Emperor, Misty Envy, 1k power, 1k defense, critical of 1, size 0, obviously. Pay gauge to column, when your opponent's not damaged by the effect of your card, draw 1. So that means by the effect of your card and not your opponent's card. So if you're playing Fifth Omnis and you have this thing on the field, don't think them taking effect damage from their own cards is going to get you anywhere, because it doesn't. He's actually a really good card. Like, put him in your side deck or something. Caster of Forbidden Techniques, Vulgar, and other cards in the side deck. 1k power, 1k defense, critical of 1, size 0. Pay 2 life. He doesn't have a call cost. He has an ability called, which is pay 2 life to use. Call a size 3 monster from your hand, thus paying his call cost once per turn. Which is really good, since you really want to get out Yamigeto as fast as possible. And if Yamigeto happens to be your buddy monster, I'm bad, so I don't have him, but I will eventually. Then you essentially will gain. That means essentially you're paying 1 life to call it an extremely powerful monster. Run him at 2 in your side deck, same with Miss Danby. If you're not going to run him in your main deck, at least run him in your side deck. And lastly, 2 copies of Evil Dryad. So 3k power, 1k defense, critical of 1. Thundermine. When a size 2 or less monster on the opponent's field enters the opponent's field, deal 1 effect damage. So, yeah. He's the card between the Orc-sized Dragon, Evil Dryad, and the size 2 combo. Really nice. Like, run him. By the way, every card in this deck is a tech option, except for the spells and the items, because every card has like a Thundermine probably that's better than anything else. So now to our size 1's Death Ruler Daredevil. By the way, we're at 6. 1k power, 1k defense, critical of 2, size 1. Pay gauge and life to call him. Shadow Dive, it can attack you even if your opponent has a center monster. And Thundermine. 7. During your turn, when a monster on the opponent's field is destroyed, deal 1 damage once per turn, because otherwise that would be broken. I originally thought that wasn't once per turn. I ran the impact in this deck just so I could troll people and deal 4 damage. But then I realized that you can't do that. Next up, 1 copy of Stranger Dilemma. I was just running him at 4. Legit. Or in your side deck, 2. 3k power, 2k defense, critical of 1. Thundermine. 8. When your opponent casts a spell, deal 1 effect damage. Really nice, because if they Green Dragon Shield it, then essentially they're nullifying the attack, but they're still taking an effect damage. So effectively, the Green Dragon should only nullify the attack. Next up, my favorite card in terms of this deck, Call Dragon Migidos. 3k power, 3k defense, critical of 2. It can't be called to the center. Thundermine. When a card is put into your opponent's gauge, deal 1 damage. When your opponent is not damaged by the effect of Thundermine, 10, it goes into your drop zone, so it basically kills itself. Which is really fun. He's like my favorite card. I was just running 4 of them, or like 2 in the sideboard, 2 in the main deck, or something like that. I'm gonna run him in the final build. Battle Hyena Dolans. 3k power, 2k defense, critical of 1. Size 1, you may only call him if you have a dungeon enemy or 100 demons monster on your field, which is strange in Season Adventure, but okay. So when your opponent's not damaged by the effect of a card, he can kill himself. If you do, you get a gauge and you get to draw 1. Great for resource engine and all around a really good card. Run him in the sideboard. Or, like, later. Because right now I run him because I don't have the draw engine cards, which I'll eventually get. Trust me. I won't lie on that. Next up, 2 copies of King of General Knowledge Forecast. 4K power, 1K defense, critical of 2. Pay gauge and put a size 2 or less monster from your field, from your drop zone into his soul. This card gets all the Thunder Mines of his soul. So, really nice. He's actually really helpful in certain situations because he saves you. But then again, he only gets the Thunder Mine and nothing else. So, yeah, and if you don't have a card of Thunder Mine in your drop zone, wait, you have to pick one, right? No, you have to pick 100 demons. It doesn't say card Thunder Mine, so yeah, sucks. Guillotine Axe Dragon, 2K power, 2K defense, critical of 2, size 1, Thunder Mine. When a monster with Dragon's attribute enters your opponent's field, or they cast a spell with Dragon's attribute, deal a damage. I love this card so much. If you get this card, you have to buy it at 4 and put it 2 in your main deck, 2 in your side deck. That's what I would do. I only own 2. Don't do what I do. Run this boy at 4 in any version of a deck. I don't care what you say. Do it, otherwise I will come to your house and I will slap you. Jeez. He's amazing. I love him. He's one of my favorite cards. He's perfect for me. Okay, and 2 copies of One Winged Hate Dragon Left Slasher. I hate this card so much. Size 1, 5K power, 1K defense, critical of 1. He costs a gauge to call Spectral Strike, which means when he destroys a monster, deal effect damage. He just deals 1. And then Thunder Mine, when he enters the opponent's when a monster enters your opponent's left, deal damage. Here's why I hate him. His Thunder Mine is restricted to the left. Your opponent's never gonna call it to the left unless they're playing Galaxy Formation, and even then they've gotten a new card where you can use Galaxy Formation on the right. So, yeah. I guess run him in your sideboard just for the one matchup of Galaxy Formation, but even in my sideboard I would run him at 1. He's not that good unless you're playing Galaxy Formation, and I'm about to take up that much space just for one matchup. Next up, 3 copies of Orcus. So, let's get up to the size 2 since I was last size 1. 2 copies of Nightmare Scream Dragon. 6K power, 6K defense, critical of 1, size 2. Pay gauge, you put up to 200, size 2 or less, 100 damage from you, drops into his soul. He gets all their Thunder Mines, but he does not have Soul Guard. So he's kind of like Furcast, but worse because he doesn't have Soul Guard. But he has better defense and better attacks, so I guess he's basically only good for the Thunder Mine ability, otherwise he's horrible. Next up is Flame Dragon Red Dragon Ignite, 6K power, 2K defense, critical of 2, size 2. His ability is called Flame Breath. When he enters the field, deal 1 damage. Why couldn't this have been a Thunder Mine? Why? This would have been so good. That would have been so good as a Thunder Mine. Plop that boy down, deal 1 effect damage. It's only once per turn, but that wouldn't have mattered. That would have made this deck so much more broken. That's why I took out some of my support cards, because they're restrictive to only Thunder Mine activation. That would have been perfect. Because he's the only card in the deck that that effect damage is not dealt by Thunder Mine. Okay, next up, 2 copies of Thunder Summoner Reiki. He's the other card combo for the 3-card combo between if they call anything but a size 0, they take a damage. 4K power, 4K defense, critical of 2, size 2. Thunder Mine, when a size 3 enters the opponent's field, they take a damage. So combine that with the Buddy and Evil Dryad, they take a damage if they don't call size 0, which is really funny. Next up, 4 copies of Poison Wild Dragon, Zaza Mirror. Another combo card, and I will update this deck later with another combo card that I'm getting tomorrow, and I probably should have waited till tomorrow to do this, but I was too hopeful to do this. 6K power, 5K defense, critical of 2. Thunder Mine, when a size 2 monster enters your opponent's field, deal 1 effect damage. Yeah, really good, I guess. 4 copies. Put them anywhere. Finally, the size 3s. Armor Knight Serpent, 8K power, 6K defense, critical of 2. He is size 3. Put a monster from your field into your drop zone and pay 2 gauge. With Thunder Mine, when a monster enters the opponent's field, just deal effect damage. Screw them. It only activates once per turn, double attack. Really nice, actually. It's really perfect because just pop a monster down, take a damage. Fortunately, Coco Joe's better, but unfortunately, I don't have Coco Joe. I've tried, YouTube. Don't be pissed off at me, okay? I've tried. Finally, Resurrected Evil Deity, Yamigeto, who I somehow pulled from the God thing, and I wish Daredevil wasn't the card I pulled from the promos because I would have gotten off another Yamigeto who has the same effect as Serpent. Okay, here's what Yamigeto does. This one does. 8K power, 5K defense, critical 3, size 3. He costs 2 gauge, and you put 1 or more 100 Demons monsters from your field into his card's soul. So essentially, if you use Forecast ability, you don't get a soul card, but you still get the 2, but you don't have to pay the gauge for it.